Hey there, welcome back to Revenge Diary. This one's personal. It's for anyone who's ever sat in a room full of their own family and felt completely invisible. You know that sting when everyone's bragging about degrees and shiny jobs, and you're the only one people politely ignore? Yeah, this story is for you. It takes place in a small Ohio town, Riverton. I'm Brooke Hayes. I'm 25, and for the longest time, I was the walking punchline in my family, the one who didn't quite make it. The daughter who helped out locally, as Mom used to say with that sweet smile that's not really sweet kind of thing. But what started as her words, the little lies she told to save face, turned into something I never expected. A message that shattered our family. It made me disappear. So grab a cuppa or whatever keeps your heart steady and get comfy. Because this is the story of the successful kid's only dinner and how one text message taught me more about self-worth than a lifetime of trying to make my mom proud. Let's rewind a bit. When Dad passed, everything flipped upside down. The mortgage didn't pay itself, and while my brothers and sisters chased their dreams out of state law school, med school, design agencies, I stayed behind. Someone had to. So I took the night shift at a frozen food plant on the edge of town. Hard work, cold hands, aching shoulders. The kind of job where the machines hummed louder than the people. To me, it was survival. To my mom, it was humiliation. At every family gathering, she'd smile when people asked what her kids were up to. Oh, Mark's a doctor now. Emma just got promoted to creative director. Lily got into law school. Then there was me, Brooke. Oh, Brooks. Helping out locally. Taking some time to figure things out. Helping out locally as in paying the bills that kept the house from disappearing. Nice, right? At first, I told myself it didn't matter. Bills paid meant success, in its own way. But the laughter, the polite nods, the side glances, they built up like ice under my ribs. And then came Mother's Day. That Sunday smelled like cut grass and supermarket roses. At the plant, though, it was just the usual garlic powder and cold metal. I was on break, balancing my coffee on an overturned crate. My fingers were numb from the freezer. My phone buzzed. Family Hayes group chat. My breath hitched. Silly, right? I told myself I didn't care. I lied. The message said Mother's Day dinner. Successful kids only. So proud of my accomplished children. Mark, Dr. Hayes. Emma, our design queen. Lily, my future lawyer. Love you all. Dinner at 6:30. 3 names, 3 emojis. No, Brooke. Not even a pity emoji heart. I read it again. And again. Each time it hit harder. That phrase, successful kids, only it didn't just leave me out. It erased me like I'd never existed. She texted soon after, hope you understand. Tonight's just about celebrating achievements. You know, you're always part of the family. Have you ever had someone tell you you're family but remind you don't really count? That's the kind of pain you don't scream through, you just sit there, feeling small. The hum of the machines drowned everything out. Inside, something cracked, and something colder clicked into place. After work, I made a pot of instant noodles, sat at my kitchen table, and opened a notebook. Holidays with Family Dot, maybe someday she'd be proud. Don't be the bad daughter. Undercut ties, no more humiliation. Guess which list filled up faster? Still, I hesitated. Who cuts off their mom over a text message, right? Then my phone buzzed again. Family chat lighting up with photos from the Mother's Day dinner. Not even a shadow of me in the frame. Emma chimed in. You know how she is. Nobody said Mom was wrong. Everyone blamed me for caring. I looked at the notebook again and circled cut ties, then, trembling, blocked her number. Mark's too. Emma's. I couldn't do it anymore. Only Lily, my youngest sister, the quiet one, stayed unblocked. That night, my coworker Mia stopped by with takeout. She saw the mess of scribbles and my swollen eyes. What happened? I handed her the notebook. She read it, looked me dead in the eye, and said, You already know your answer, Brooke. Would you cut off your family over something like that? I whispered. I cut off anyone who makes me feel small on purpose, she said, blood or not. So I wrote 2 words huge across the page. I choose me. After the noise of family group chats stopped, my phone got eerily silent but peaceful. And in that quiet came me. I started paying attention again. Now I signed up immediately. Industrial safety. Process improvement. I'm loving it. Nia even joined me. We were the nerds in the front row, always asking questions, fueled by bad vending machine coffee and maybe too much hope. I was late juggling worksheets when I heard a soft, nervous voice behind me. Brooke? I turned. Lily stood there in a hoodie, backpack slung on one shoulder, looking about 12 years old again. She whispered, Mom doesn't know I signed up. She still thinks I'm focused on law. I smiled, proud and sad all at once. Good for you, kid. Then she said quietly, I saw the Mother's Day message. I wanted to say something, but Mark said don't stir things up. I'm sorry, Brooke. I know, I said, voice shaking. It's not your fault. Lily twisted her sleeve. Mom's weird about it now. Act's fine, but she keeps mentioning me like she's mad you aren't chasing what she wanted. She hates that you made her look bad. And now people keep asking where you are. There was the fallout. My quiet rebellion messed with her perfect story. I miss you, Lily admitted, but I get it. You did what you had to. I squeezed her hand. You don't have to replay her script, Lil. You get to write your own ending. She asked softly, Are you ever coming back? I thought about it. The new job, the peace, the silence that let me breathe. And I said, right now, I need distance more than I need forgiveness. Months rolled by. Then, out of the blue, Rachel called me into her office. Brooke, you've been running that line like a pro. I want you to take over as supervisor on the new frozen meals project. More pay, more responsibility. I blinked. Wait, me? She laughed. Yeah, you've earned it. If this had happened a year earlier, my first thought would have been, oh my gosh, Mom's going to have to brag about this. But my first thought was, I did this. Me. I was managing schedules, solving breakdowns, handling crew drama. But for once, people looked at me and saw me. Still, sometimes old habits die hard. Late at night, I'd scroll social media, see my siblings standing proudly with Mom, captions full of family love, and so proud of my kids. 3 faces, always 3 dot, my stomach twisted the same way each time. One night I snapped, opened my notes app, and started writing. But by the time I was done, it was a story. A truth I'd spent years swallowing. I titled it, Successful Kids Only, and posted it anonymously on a blog site Mia told me about. I expected maybe a few strangers to read it. Instead, it exploded, thousands of views, comments flooding in. I thought I was the only one. My mom did the same thing. Cutting them off saved my sanity. Reading those made me sob harder than any family text ever had. These strangers got me. Then Mia messaged me one night. Be honest, this blog's yours, isn't it? I laughed through tears. Maybe. She replied, good, because it's powerful. Be proud. But the internet isn't a quiet place. A few days later, one of Mom's church friends shared the post with the caption, Parents, don't do this to your kids. It broke my heart. The story started bouncing around the same small-town social circles my mom lived for. And sure enough, she found out, unknown number. Brooke, it's Mom. People keep sending me this post saying it sounds familiar. I hope you're not part of it. You're making the family look bad. Call me back. Not are you all right? Now did I hurt you? Just, you're embarrassing me again. I saved the voicemail. Like evidence. Funny how she worried about her reputation after never caring about my heart. Weeks later, Rachel, my manager, smiled at me in the break room. Random question, she said. This blog that's been going around someone wrote about a successful kids only thing. The author sounds suspiciously like you. I froze. Maybe? She grinned. Whoever wrote it should know it's brilliant. If that's you, own it. I went home glowing. Mia later dragged me into something wild. A local storytelling night downtown. Theme: when family crosses the line. No way, I said between bites of a soggy sandwich. Oh yes, she said. You have to. People need to hear it. That night, standing under stage lights with a shaky mic, I opened with. My mom called me an embarrassment because I chose factory work. The crowd murmured, some nodding instantly. I even said that cursed phrase out loud, successful kids only. I ended with this. I used to think family was a debt I owed, and walking away doesn't make you cruel. The applause was thunderous. Some people cried. One woman hugged me after and whispered, I think I can finally stop apologizing for leaving. For the first time in forever, I felt seen. The next day, a massive Instagram page shared my story. Caption: The successful kids only mom is why therapy exists. Comments exploded. And deep inside that comment section was a name I knew by heart, Lily Hayes. She wrote, sometimes the successful kids are just the ones who learned how to perform. The others are just trying to survive. I teared up. She got it. Finally. But of course, Mom saw it too. Lily texted later, Mom knows it was you. People at church are talking. She says you shouldn't air family business. That should have felt like revenge, but all I felt was balance. The truth had leveled the scales. Time passed quietly after that. My world got smaller but richer. At the plant, I trained new hires, helped fix lines, and traveled between locations. My little apartment filled up with mementos of a life that was mine, not one handed to me. My contact list shrank, yeah, but my circle of real people grew. Coworkers, neighbors, fellow night students, online readers who'd become friends through shared scars. Lily and I texted sometimes, light stuff mostly. She'd occasionally vent about Mom's latest performance. Turns out, Mom never really let the blog go. It tore through her reputation in that small-town echo chamber. For someone addicted to looking perfect, being whispered about was her worst punishment. She changed churches, tried to rewrite the narrative. My daughter twisted the story. But no matter what she told people, deep down, she knew she'd erased me first. Then life did its thing, time passed, and news trickled through Lily. Mom's health wasn't great. Blood pressure, money strains, repairs needed on the old house dot. Then one evening, Lily called. Brooke, Mom wants your number. She says she needs to talk. I sighed, already bracing for it. Why? You know why, Lily said quietly. Bills, repairs, hospital stuff. She keeps saying if Brooke really cared about family, she'd help. There was guilt dressed up as love. The old Brooke, the one who used to pull extra shifts to keep everyone afloat, almost jumped up. But then Lily said something that stopped me cold. You already did more than anyone knows, she said softly. You stayed, you saved us when Dad passed. Mom never counted it, but I saw it. You don't owe her another rescue. Hearing that from the baby of the family sealed it. Something in me solidified. Tell her, I said carefully, that I hope she takes care of her health, but I'm not her backup plan anymore. She chose who counted back then, I'm choosing now. I could almost feel the door close, not with anger, but relief. A few weeks later, a small brown package arrived. No return address, but the handwriting? My childhood. Inside was a worn jewelry box with my initials on it and a letter. I unfolded it slowly. I know I wasn't perfect, but you misunderstood what I tried to do. I only wanted the best for you. You've hurt me by making our private issues public. People look at me differently now. After everything I did for you, the least you could do is help me now. There it was, the bait. The twist disguised as love. No sorry, no accountability. Just guilt with a fancy bow. For a long time, I just stared at the paper. Then I opened my old notebook, the one that started it all, and on a fresh page, wrote, "This is what's real." I listed every truth I could think of. I told my story with more respect for her privacy than she'd ever given mine. I didn't ruin her reputation. Her choices did. One spent years carrying this family. That counted. I'm allowed to stop. I read it out loud until my own voice felt stronger than her guilt. Then I folded her letter, placed it back in the jewelry box, and tucked it away. Not thrown out, just archived. Proof, not power. I didn't call, didn't send money. Just sent one short message through Lily. I hope you take care of your health and find support. I'm not stepping back into this role. I wish you peace. That was it. Final. Mom cried, cursed, called me ungrateful. Then finally stopped asking. Closure isn't clean. It's heavy. It's quiet. But it's real. People always want to tie stories like this up neatly. She forgave her mom. They hugged it out. Roll credits. That's not how real life works. I still miss the idea of mom, sometimes the warm version that never quite existed outside my memory. I still get flashes, Christmas lights, birthday cakes, laughter that belong to another life. But those moments don't erase the truth. They just make it human. Not every wound needs reopening. Some just need to stop bleeding. Eventually, I wrote my final post for the blog, my last one about her. I wrote about the letter, the guilt, the boundary. I wrote that love doesn't always mean access. That forgiving someone doesn't always mean you go back. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for you and them is to step out of a role that's killing you. When I hit publish, I didn't cry, didn't smile. I just felt done, like I'd finally said everything that needed saying. That night, I went out onto my tiny balcony, the hum of the factory lights glowing in the distance, the same place where my mom's text once erased me the difference. Back then, I stared at a screen waiting for validation. Now, I stare at the night knowing I don't need anyone's permission to exist. Steel toe boots still on, grease still under my nails, but my story? Mine now. All of it. And when people online thank me for sharing, for giving them permission to choose themselves, I realized something huge. Maybe this was never revenge. Maybe it was recovery. So tell me, if you were in my shoes standing where I stood, faced with a parent who finally wants your help, but still won't say sorry, would you go back or protect your peace? Whatever your answer, promise me this. Your worth is not up for debate. Not by your family, not by their friends, not even by the voice in your head that sounds a bit like theirs. Thanks for letting me share my truth with you. If this story hit home, if it whispered something you needed to hear, subscribe to Revenge Diary for more real stories that remind us we're not alone. And share this video with someone who's still learning to choose themselves too. Because sometimes the quietest kind of revenge is peace.